Hi everyone, and welcome to this Valkyrie sound tutorial on dynamic crowd audio for UE4. In this video, we'll create a sound cue and blueprint that responds to the number of NPCs in a location and plays an appropriate sound cue for the crowd size. We'll create 3 crowd sound cues, small, medium and large, and use a blueprint to blend these sounds as the number of NPCs in the area goes up and down. This blueprint can then be used as a template throughout your game. First, we're going to get our sounds. I'm going to use freesound.com. I'm going to use Gchase's crowd medium trade show large venue as my small sound. I'm going to use Gchase's crowd large venue trade show as my medium sound. And my large sound is going to be large crowd medium distance stereo by EGObyte. I'm going to use Audacity to trim these sounds down to a short section I can then loop, and I'll export them in 44.1 kHz format. I would recommend 15 to 20 seconds as a minimum for your loop length. If you'd like to know more about preparing audio files for UE4, take a look at my tutorial on this, which should pop up now. Once you're happy with your sounds, we'll import them into UE4. And finally, we're going to create a sound cue called Dynamic Crowd using all 3 of these WAVs. And we're going to take our WAV files and we're just going to drag these over to the queue and drop them in like that. This is the one that I've prepared earlier. Here we have the 3 WAVs. Make sure you have them ordered from smallest through to the largest and set all of the WAVs to looping. You can see that each one here has its own mixer node, and that allows me to adjust the volumes in the engine for good relative level mix. We do want the large crowd sound to sound bigger and noisier, but we don't want it to be physically louder than the other crowd sounds so it doesn't disrupt our overall sound mix. That allows us to properly layer our sounds throughout the game and not overwhelm or distract the player. Next, we collect these mixer nodes to the crossfade by param node, and I'm going to set the param name as crowd size. Later on, we'll feed a float into this parameter, and we'll use the boxes below to control when the parameter is triggered to fade from one sound to the other. So just expand this a little bit. You can see that we have fade in, crowd size start and end, and fade out start and ends. These should overlap so that the fade out start and end of one value is equal to the fade in start and end of the next one. You can see as well that I'm starting my smaller crowd setting at 2 and 3. This means that at 2 people or less, there'll be no small crowd sound. And that's pretty fitting because really we don't have a crowd when we've only got 2 people. When you're done, make sure you connect the crossfade by param to the output. Again, in your Explorer view, right-click, Sounds, and then Sound Attenuation. Once you're in there, we're going to set the attenuation function to natural sound. Make sure that the attenuation shape is set to sphere. We are going to disable spatialization, and we're not going to touch inner radius or fall off distance because we're going to adjust these through our blueprint in a moment. Now that we've set up our sound cue, let's look at the blueprint that's going to drive all of this. First of all, we would drag in our sound cue. And we want to make sure that it's attached to the default scene route. The next step is to apply our attenuation, so make sure you have it highlighted and look for the attenuation section. Next, we're going to add a collision box volume. So again, select the default scene route, add component, and then box collision. And that's going to give us a visual representation of the box overlap actors node that we're going to add in a moment. Because I've already prepared this blueprint, I'm going to delete these 2. So you can see I've already got them here. Next, we go to the construction script. And from our execution node, we're going to set box extent. Into that, you want to plug your box. And we're going to make 2 new variables. Extent xy with a default value of 1850. And extent z with a default value of 500. These should be plugged into the make vector, and then that should be plugged into the inbox extent. So with that in, if we go back to the viewport, and we select the extent XY value, and we change this to 500. You can see that our box has shrunk, and back to our default value of 1850. From the Set Box Extent node, we're going to add an Adjust Attenuation node. And into that, we're going to plug the Dynamic Crowd sound cue. And from In Attenuation Settings, if you click on Make Sound Attenuation Settings, that'll bring up this here. You can see there's a whole load of tick boxes on the right here, and by default, all of these are ticked. So we have a massive panel that runs down the screen. We don't need all of those though. All we need is the Attenuation Distance section and the Enable Spatialization section. That's because we want to untick that on the actual node itself. Make sure that attenuation function is set to natural sound. It should also be at sphere for attenuation shape. Get your extent XY, do a multiply by float node. I've changed that value to 1.125, and then tap that into the fall off distance and attenuation shape extents. That means as our collision box increases in size based on the extent XY parameter, we're going to increase the scale of the attenuation as well. So if you go back to the viewport and we click on Dynamic Crowd, you can see our box here and the inner and outer radii of the Dynamic Crowd sound attenuation. If I change the value of the extent XY to 500, you see that the box has shrunk and the attenuation has shrunk as well. Let's set that back to the right size and we'll compile. This value here, the 1.125, works well with my scene, but you might want to experiment with different values there for yours. Next, let's have a look at the event graph. So again, this is something that I've already prepared. We're going to have our event tick, and from there, we're going to have a box overlap actors node. Into the box extent, we're going to plug in the make vector that again pulls from the extent XY and the extent Z variables. And as you'll have guessed, that links our box collision with the box overlap actors. Next, from object types, we want to pull out and click on Make Array. This will give us this box here. And our two values here should be pawn and world dynamic. The top value here will get your NPCs, and the bottom value will get things like blueprint actors. So if you have any set pieces in your game that contain some talking NPCs, you can include this option and they'll be counted as part of your crowd. Finally, we add a Get Player Character node, attach that to a Make Array, and plug that into the actors to ignore. That means that our player won't be counted as part of the crowd. From box overlap actors, we're then going to add a branch and connect that to return value as well. The branch is executing based on a check for the overlapping actors. From the true, we're going to add a for each loop, and we're going to connect array and out actors together. From the completed execution pin, we're going to add a sequence, and this is going to allow us to add in a debug section. If you hook this up to the array index into the in string of the print string node, that's going to tell us how many NPCs there are in the collision box at any one time. If you pull out from the array index and type in clamp, you see that it defaults to integer clamp if you have the context sensitive ticked. You untick that and then click on clamp float. We're going to leave the min value as 0, and we're going to create a new variable called max actors to count and plug that into the max. The default value for that I've set to 25. It's an arbitrary figure, but note that it is less than the value of 30 that I set for the param value in the sound cue. Next, we should right click and add a float lerp. Plug the return value from our clamp into the B input, and we're going to create two new variables as well: current parameter and crossfade rate. We're not going to add a default to the current parameter node because that one is going to be updated by our blueprint itself. And the crossfade rate, I've updated to 0.005. This relates to the speed with which the sounds will be blended or crossfaded from one to the other. Play around with that value until you find something that works well for you. Next, add a set current parameter node based on our own variable that we made, and hook this up to the sequencer. If you skip in the debug section, make sure that this is attached to the completed execution pin of the for each loop. From the set current parameter node, we want to add a set float parameter node. And again, we're going to drag in our dynamic crowd sound cue and plug that into the target. We're going to change the in name to crowd size, which is what we set the parameter name in the sound cue itself. And we're going to hook up the current parameter to the in float. And finally, I've also created a debug section that links into the lerp and allows me to monitor the lerp values as we go through the game. Compile, browse to this, and let's add it into our scene. And let's see how this works. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope you found that useful. Take care and good luck with your projects.